This is TWiT.
Well, this one is potentially alarming. Russian website CNews reported yesterday that around 4.93 million Gmail usernames and passwords were published to a Russian Bitcoin forum. But Google tells the Next Web that it doesn't believe this is a result of a security breach. Since the posting, the Bitcoin forum administrators have purged the passwords from that text file, leaving just the logins. But the forum user who published the file claimed that about 60% of the passwords were valid. Now, the text file showed mainly English and Spanish and Russian accounts, but also included some older lists that seemed to be accumulated over time, which could be unrelated to Gmail or even other Google services. So the leak potentially isn't affecting anywhere close to 5 million users. However, if you haven't enabled two-step verification, now is the time. Yesterday on stage at its iPhone Apple Watch event, Apple's CEO Tim Cook talked about how the company planned to include Wi-Fi phone calls into the latest iPhone. At its Uncarrier 7.0 event today, T-Mobile announced that it's broadening its Wi-Fi calling and text message feature with a program called Wi-Fi Unleashed to get more of its customers on smartphones that can make calls and send texts over Wi-Fi. T-Mobile also said it would start offering customized free Wi-Fi routers to maximize speeds of its smartphones, and that the company also signed a deal with GoGo in-flight Wi-Fi service to offer free texting and photo messages and visual voicemail in the air on any U.S.-based airline that GoGo works with. Back in July, T-Mobile launched its voice over LTE network across the U.S., which is only compatible on specific smartphones, but do include the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus. And good news for T-Mobile customers that are traveling, compatible phones will be able to make calls back to the U.S. over Wi-Fi for free. GeekOnGadget.com is reporting that it received a confidential internal document from within Microsoft. It says Microsoft will be completely dropping the Nokia branding from its devices, leaving Lumia as the brand for upcoming devices, and that the Lumia 830 and Lumia 730 will be the final two devices to launch with that Nokia branding. Geek on Gadget says that the document also points to Microsoft phasing out the Windows Phone logo next to devices in promotions and advertisements, opting instead for the Windows logo, the standard one, as a gradual retirement of the Windows Phone name and the OS, which will merge with a desktop version of Windows in upcoming updates. Twitter's announced a new developer conference focused on mobile called, appropriately, Flight. The conference will take place at the Bill Graham Civic Auditorium in San Francisco on October 22nd. It'll include a keynote from Twitter CEO Dick Costolo and technical sessions for mobile devs to build on Twitter's platform. You might remember Chirp, that was the official Twitter developer conference that took place back in 2010, but it never had a follow-up. And as Twitter's business strategy has evolved, its relationship with developers hasn't always been harmonious. In fact, just last week, we reported that TwitPic announced that it would be shutting down due to a trademark dispute with Twitter. Twitter also said that it's rolled out a newly revamped developer site, so perhaps it's a new dawn for relationships with third-party services. Facebook is testing a new feature that will let you schedule a post for deletion at some point in the future after you post it. Weird, right? Several users have already reported seeing an option to choose expiration on their Facebook posts. It isn't the first time that Facebook has experimented with ephemeral messaging. Back in June, it released a Snapchat clone app called Slingshot that allowed users to sling back and forth photos and videos that then expire. But what kind of posts do people want automatically deleted from Facebook itself? Events? Article links? It seems to me like the opposite of what Facebook has always wanted. So it's a new dawn for Facebook as well. One question that came out of Apple's Apple Watch reveal at its event yesterday, at least from a few of us Southpaws, is does the watch work the same way on either wrist? Left-handed people really care about things like this. Apple tells /Gear that on initial setup, you can choose to have the watch face orient itself for use on the right wrist. The watch bands are also swappable, so your band won't be facing the wrong way. However, lefties still have to deal with a right-handed design somewhat because the digital crown will be on the bottom left-hand side of the watch when worn on the right wrist. I don't know, not a deal breaker for me, but I don't know, it just depends.